Hello, everyone. My name is Abby Trout. I'm the Curriculum Coordinator in CLA Career Services. I'm very excited to have our employer partner, Rachel, here with us today. Rachel, to start off, if you could just introduce yourself, tell us what your role is and the organization that you work for.
Hello, everybody. I'm glad to virtually join you today. My name is Rachel, and I am the Program Manager for the Twin Cities Lutheran Volunteer Corps. Should I go into what the LVC is? Is that the next question? Great. Okay, so the LVC, we are a community of faith that unites people to work for peace and justice. We pursue our mission by placing volunteers in full-time service positions at social justice organizations for a year. We also have a new semester experience. And during these experiences, volunteers explore intentional community, social justice, simple sustainable living, and spirituality. So a year of service, generally after graduation, but we've also had volunteers who maybe take a semester or a year off as well and kind of do it in an interim.
Very cool, thank you. Rachel, what types of experiences are valuable for students to gain as they're either exploring their interests and or preparing for, an internship search? So really thinking about those students who are earlier in their collegiate career.
Yeah, so as a year of service, we're slightly different than perhaps a, typical job that you might be looking into, because there's not just one path into doing a year of service. Because the beauty of it is that a year of service is about exploring. And so it's also, I think, in terms of gaining experience, I would use that same phrase of explore what you are interested in. And so one of the things I also forgot to mention is that LVC is in 5 different cities. So we are in the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, St. Paul, as well as Washington, D.C., Omaha, Baltimore, and Wilmington. And so there are many options depending on what your interests lie. And so we do work with all nonprofits, but we have everything from direct service. So maybe you want to work with clients directly as a case manager. We also have more of the behind the scenes. Maybe you're more interested in advocacy, we have advocacy or perhaps marketing. So lots of different types of things. So just as you go through your college career, try out different things and explore different options and find out what's the best for you. And you don't have to have a solidified vision of what is best for you when coming to a year of service, because the wonderful thing about year of service is that it's also about continuing that exploration.
That's great, thank you. And so thinking about the different types of ways to gain experience, what have you seen as something that really stands out to you on a resume or an application or a cover letter? What types of experiences are really strike you and make a resume or cover letter stand out?
Well, one of the unique things about the service experience at Lutheran Volunteer Corps is that a component of it is living in community. So you would be living with others together and exploring all of the values of the program. And so one area that's often really helpful is if you have experience in either experiencing or thinking about exploring concepts of community. So whether that is, even with one of your, if you have a roommate in your college dorm, of what does that mean with each other and how you go about navigating living with each other. And so that's a very important aspect of it. So it's not just about the work, the job, the service that you'd be doing, but it's also about those bigger concepts as well. So any experience or interest that you have in terms of living in community, so maybe you live off campus with others or live in a campus intentional community, those are all very valuable experiences to have as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can think of various, even part-time jobs that students have, whether I could see if you were like a camp counselor, working in community, or work in any sort of capacity in the residence halls, or yeah, some other intentional community that could help give students, like you were saying, that experience with communities, building them, living within them, that kind of thing, various student groups. So yeah, that sounds like, yeah, a lot of ways for students to gain experience that aren't necessarily just, you need an internship to get an internship, or you need a job to get a job. There's lots of ways to build those skills. So thank you.
Yeah, those are great examples, actually. And that again, going back to the fact that a service program is also about exploring, that it's not about a rigid set of expectations or experiences that you do have, but it's about really honing in on the experiences that you have had, because everybody has different types of experiences. And so whether that is a part-time job or the clubs that you are involved in, all of those are very valuable experiences. So it's really just a matter of thinking about those experiences and what is it that you got out of those experiences, and then maybe being able to really think about that and discussing with others about what that meant for you. That's really, I think, what LVC would be looking for, is how to kind of rethink about and reframing some of those experiences.
Great, thank you. Rachel, and in this time, in these COVID times, students might feel like it'll be really hard for them to gain experience. What might you say to them about other, perhaps more creative ways to garner experience?
Yeah, and going back to kind of the fact that I think for us experience is a much broader. And so it also depends on what type of, because we're a service year program, and so you apply for the general program, but then you also then interview with and apply to very specific positions. And so for instance, if you're looking for direct service working with clients, connecting with different organizations, maybe volunteering is a good way to connect with organizations. Maybe there's a particular issue area. So maybe you are passionate about homelessness, or you are passionate about healthcare. Connect with organizations that are doing these things and explore that. And I know a lot of different organizations have virtual volunteering happening right now. So you don't necessarily have to have a job to get that experience, but volunteering is also a really great way to connect. And there are many different types and modes of volunteering. And so many organizations can really work with you on different schedules, different needs, that sort of thing. So really thinking about if there's an issue area that interests you, or if there is a type of position. Do you like the marketing, or do you like the direct service? And then being able to connect to different organizations in that way.
Absolutely, such an important point about connecting the dots and finding your interests. Last couple of questions here is, are you open to students contacting you? And if so, what's the best way to reach you?
Yes, definitely. I'm open and would love to have any conversations with any interested students. Probably the best way to contact me is through email, though I am also on LinkedIn.
Great. And does your organization currently have any opportunities available?
Oh, not currently. We just onboarded our year of service. So that's a good question. Actually, our year of service is from August to May. And so we just started our new group. However, we will be, so as I mentioned, we have this new semester flex program, and that will be January through May. And that will be open up in mid to late fall. So you can check our website as well for further information on that.
Great, thank you. And lastly, Rachel, any general words of advice or encouragement for students this fall?
Just keep at it. That, everybody is going through all of these challenges and all of our expectations are different, and that employers and me as a service year program, none of us have, well, we shouldn't have that expectation that you're going to have the exact same, experiences as prior to the pandemic, because the world is different. So just keep at it, do what you can do, and reframing some of the things that you do, I think is a good, important strategy.
Great. Thank you so much, Rachel, for being with us today. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.